When investigators asked how many she had killed, she said she couldn't remember. Maybe 13, maybe 15, she wasn't sure. She had lost count. Her name is Kulthum Akbari, and for 22 years, nobody suspected a thing. She was born in 1967 in a small village in northern Iran. By her own account, her early life was not easy. Her first marriage at 18 was to a man her family described as mentally unstable. Her second marriage was worse. She lived for years with a much older man who beat her. His stepsons beat her too. When he died, she was left with nothing. No money, no property, no security. Just the knowledge of what it felt like to be completely powerless inside a marriage. That knowledge would become the foundation of everything that followed. After her second husband died, she began attending women's gatherings in her community. At these gatherings, she would talk openly. She spoke about loneliness, about wanting companionship, about her desire to marry again. Specifically, she said she wanted to marry an elderly man who lived alone. People listened. People sympathized. Some of them even helped. Families with elderly, lonely fathers began to introduce them to Kulthum. She was warm, she was attentive, she seemed to genuinely care. And for a brief period after the wedding, she did. The marriages followed a pattern. She would find a man, elderly, alone, often already in poor health. She would marry him. She would care for him, cook for him, manage his medications, learn exactly what each man was already taking for his existing conditions. And then, very slowly, she would add a little more. Sedatives, diabetes medications, blood pressure drugs. In some cases, industrial alcohol added to food or drink. Nothing dramatic, nothing sudden. The men would simply begin to decline. Heart problems would worsen. Diabetes complications would develop, and eventually, they would die. The way elderly men in poor health die, quietly, in their beds, of apparently natural causes. No alarm, no investigation, no suspicion. Because why would there be? These were old men. Old men die. She would then transfer the inherited property and dowries into her daughter's name and began looking for the next husband. The killings began in the year 2000. They continued for 22 years across 5 cities: Sari, Nika, Mahmoudabad, Babol, and Qaim Shar. She chose different cities deliberately. No pattern across one location. No single doctor seeing too many of her husbands die. No single community asking too many questions. The prosecutors who eventually built the case against her described her methods as extraordinarily calculated. The defendant was skilled at covering her tracks, they told the court. Most of the victims appeared to have died of natural causes due to their age and chronic illnesses. One victim, Mir Ahmad Omrani, age 69, died 1 month after their marriage. Esmail Bakshi, age 62, died 2 months after theirs. Ganjali Hamzi, aged 83, died 43 days after the wedding. 43 days. She had refined this down to weeks. One man survived, Masi Nemati. In 2020, he noticed something wrong with the syrup she had given him. He expelled her from his home. He told no one. He did not go to the police. He kept the information to himself and moved on. And so she moved on too, to the next husband. The case only unraveled in 2023. Her final victim was 82-year-old Gholam Reza Babai. When he died, his son grew suspicious. He mentioned it to a family friend. That friend told him something extraordinary. His own father had been married to a woman named Kulthum, a woman who had tried to poison him. In 2020, the son went to the police. Investigators began pulling the thread, and what they found on the other end of it stopped them completely. 22 years, 18 temporary marriages, 19 official marriages, at least 11 confirmed deaths, possibly more. She herself could not say exactly how many. When Kulthum Akbari was arrested, she was brought before a camera. She introduced herself. She was calm. She did not appear distressed. When the crime scene reconstruction footage was played in court, she initially denied everything. Then she watched the footage, and she confessed. 11 murders, 1 attempted murder, 22 years. And the most chilling moment of the entire trial came when investigators pressed her on the exact number. She paused. "I don't know how many I killed," she said. "Maybe it was 13, maybe 15. She paused again. "I don't remember exactly." In September 2025, a court in Mazandaran province found Kulthum Akbari guilty of 11 counts of premeditated murder. She was sentenced to 10 death penalties. 10 families had demanded execution under Islamic law. The family of the 11th victim agreed to forego the death penalty in exchange for blood money. She also received a 10-year prison sentence for the attempted murder of the man who survived. The man who survived, who said nothing, who did not go to the police, and whose silence allowed her to kill again. The question this case leaves behind is not really about Kulthum Akbari. She understood something about invisibility, about how the deaths of elderly people in poor health do not generate investigations, about how a woman who appears devoted and caring is the last person anyone suspects. She exploited every assumption her society made about widows, about loneliness, about care, about what a wife is supposed to do. And she did it for 22 years, across 5 cities, in plain sight. The question this case leaves is not how she did it. The question is how many Kulthum Akbaris there are who have not yet been found. Because their husbands' deaths looked natural. Because elderly men in poor health die every day, and nobody pulls the thread. If this case stayed with you, share it with someone you trust. And if you want more cases like this one, subscribe. A new case drops every Thursday. I'll see you in the next one.